Hello everyone, Impiator here, and welcome back to my Newcomer's Guide for Elden Ring. This is part 50. In the last episode, we made it through most of the Lake of Rot, though we do have a couple of items left to pick up over here. But we did wrap out at the Grand Cloister, which is right in front of a boss battle. Now, in the last episode, I said we weren't going to be doing this boss yet. However, I've decided otherwise, because I went ahead and fought this boss during my walkthrough prep, and I thought it was pretty easy. And so we're going to be progressing that, as well as Ronnie's quest line, EG's quest line, and Blythe's quest line. But first, let's go ahead and head up and pick up the last couple of items in this place. Now, I do also want to call out that we're going to go talk to EG and Blythe. However, it's not explicitly required to talk to them. However, where they end up after Ronnie's quest line won't really make sense at all unless you go talk to them. So we are going to go talk to them first. So over here we have a chest that contains a cookbook, and this cookbook allows us to now make rot-related stuff. So you can make rot pots, and you can make rot grease. Before I die, we're going to head over to the Aguil Lake South, however, because Blythe has actually been imprisoned in the same Everjail that we fought Darrowell at. And again, you might remember that Ronnie basically said she wanted us to go find EG and Blythe and tell them that she loved them. So technically we're continuing, her piece of the quest line. Only for us to find out that Blythe is stuck. Apparently EG imprisoned him. Now it doesn't matter which of these two things you do. We'll go ahead and open the Everjail though. He'll end up escaping regardless, but
I'm going to see me. I don't know what kid, even if the odd.
But we'll go ahead and let him out. And now we're going to go talk to EG and find out why he imprisoned him.
Greeting. I presume very well. The two-fingered if lady of the shadow at such it pains. Lady along that now, lady, I pray that you...
So that's what's going on. Or at least that's what he thinks going on. So let's head back to the Grand Cloister. We're going to go ahead and progress this place. And then their stories will progress after we finish Ronnie's questline. So around here we have a golden rune. Golden centipede. Alright, so before we head that route, we're going to head this route, because if we head all the way up the stairs over there, it will cause our summon to despawn. And we do have an ulcerated tree spirit over here to deal with. So we fought those before, I'm not going to repeat how to deal with them. Alright, so when we head down that route, we're going to end up Getting attacked by a boss, mini boss. Not a bad idea to hold out your shield. Ouch. Alright, so that's going to do it. Did not mean to use that, but oh well. So we get a golden seed for our troubles, and we're going to go ahead and head this way now. Guaranteed drops here are the fan daggers and the smithing stone. You might also get their pest glaive. Anyway, one way or the other, once you head up here, your summon will dissipate, so I usually come here last. And the boss access is going to be down this path here on the right. We're going to head back to the Grand Cloister, though, and then we're going to sneak back over here so we've got full health, full heals. These guys have really long range with their kind of Weaver attack. So I'm going to wait for them to almost completely pass us before we sneak by. Alright, should be good. Alright, so we've made it to the entrance to the boss. There is a Stake of America out here. Otherwise, just be prepared to deal with this boss and not leave, because your runes will be stuck behind here if you die. As far as what I recommend, this boss does gravity magic damage. We're going to go and equip a Spelldrake Talisman to boost our magical damage negation. I'll also go ahead and switch back to my normal gear at this point, because we're done with Rot for a little while. Once we step in this battle, he's going to shoot us with a laser. He's actually going to be pretty far off, so he'll immediately shoot us with the laser, and we're going to want to dodge left or right for that, ideally. Afterwards, I'm going to go ahead and summon, and then I'm going to start running towards the boss. Once we get closer to the boss, it'll usually try to whip us with its tail. It's mostly going to be dependent on which direction you approach him from, but if you approach him from kind of dead center, he'll usually try to tail whip you. That can do some massive damage, so make sure to hold out your shield for that. Even at our low endurance level, you should be able to tank at least one hit, release, wait for your stamina to go back up, and then do it again. So just this old ass shield that we've had since the very beginning of the game is just fine for this. Otherwise, though, once we get closer to the enemy, he has mandibles on his head. The mandibles themselves will do attacks. However, you really need to watch out for whenever the mandibles start kind of vibrating and the head starts turning purple, because he's going to do a grab attack, and that's a pretty devastating attack. In addition, he has a second grab attack, and the second grab attack happens after he teleports. So his teleports will actually do damage to you, but if he gets behind you during a teleport, he will basically do what looks like, it's going to look like a bear hug, but he's just going to grab you in his hands. And that'll do like 90% of your health, even if you're at 60 vigor like we are. So we really don't want to be grabbed by either of those two grab attacks in this fight if we can avoid it. Otherwise, he's got various types of magic. He will swipe his hands, and it'll leave behind stars that will explode. We want to avoid the hands as well as the paths that his hands went through. He'll also end up occasionally slamming the ground in a couple of different ways, creating an emanating circular attack that grows several times. So want to stay away from that or roll through it. He also has the ability to lift up stuff around him and then slam it back down on the ground. That can be pretty devastating if you get hit by both attacks. And then his final attack, which he'll do once he gets to his kind of second half of his health, is going to be a meteor shower attack. And we want to run to the left or right of him if you can. Usually it's pretty obvious whenever he's about to do it. Otherwise, let's go ahead and step foot in this fight. Immediately lock on. There is the attack. Timing is something that you'll have to get used to. So he did not do his typical tail whip. There's the emanating attack. Oh, there's the gravity attack. So there's his teleport. You want to make sure you know exactly where he's teleported. And there's his meteor attack. Run along his side is a good idea. And that's going to do it. Thought we did pretty good. We only used one flask. And we got enough for, looks like a couple levels. So you might recognize where we're going. This is the southwestern section of Liurnia, above the village of the Albinarics. I think that's how you say that word. There's actually quite a few things to do on the Moonlight altar. However, we're going to basically go right for Ronnie before we tackle those optional items. Now, as we approach this tower, we are going to be attacked by the dragon that was in front of Ronnie's Rise. And this time, we're going to have to kill it. Anti-magic is a good idea. Rock Sling, if you're a magic user, is a great idea. Really, that's the case against all of the dragons. Just get used to dodging him is really the best thing I can say. And you'll do fine. When he does that, he always breathes the fire in the same direction. So I always recommend running to the left. So that is a homing attack. Dodging for it is really tight. So if you've been a Dark Souls player, you might recognize that attack. Oof. Yep, he got out of his zone. And I'm awful at timing that. And that's going to do it. And get a Dragon Heart as well as Adula's Moonblade. Sweeping Slash followed by Cold Blade Projectile. So in the Cathedral, there's a whole bunch of Starlight Shards. We're going to pick those up. Be careful, there's a drop inside there. We're just going to go around it. So we have crossed the 100 barrier. We're doing pretty good on level for where we are. So now we're going to head down here. I do want to point out, though, that you need to make sure that you picked up the Dark Moon Ring from the chest in Ray Lucaria Grand Library. Otherwise, we won't be progressing this particular portion of the game yet. Now again, all of this stuff that we've been doing for Ronnie's questline has been optional, but my goal is to ensure that you have every single ending possible by the end of the game. And then you get to pick. So talk to Ronnie.
Perhaps I go now, I bid thee, and one soul.
So we've now got the Dark Moon Greatsword. This is kind of a legendary weapon in Dark Souls games. But with that, we have completed Ronnie's quest line. So by completing Ronnie's quest line, we have now unlocked her ending. So basically the way that this works is at the very end of the game, we get some choices. And some of the endings can be chosen there. One ending in particular can actually be accessed, or has to be accessed earlier. We'll talk more about that when we get to the Frenzied Flame stuff, but basically we've now already gotten the Duskborn ending, which is how we progressed, or what we got for progressing Fia's questline, and then we now have the Age of Stars ending unlocked, which is provided for by completing Ronnie's questline. However, we're not totally done with it because we got to go find out what Ronnie and Blythe are up to. So we're going to head back to Ronnie's Rise.
No. I'm part of her very being. I can never betray her. No matter what might happen. Ronnie. She needs me.
Unfortunately, Blythe is hostile at this point. You can see he's been attacked by these Black Knife assassins. This enemy has the same moveset as the Baleful Shadow. However, his attacks, he recovers from his attacks a lot faster. So you do need to be a little bit more careful. But we're going to go ahead and backstab him. And that's going to do it for him. You're going to get his gear and his greatsword. Next, we're going to head back to the road to the manor, talk to E.G. about what happened with Blythe.
Well, once. How did he break? No. Lied behind me. I'll catch her when I do.
So that finishes up EG's dialogue, and we'll go ahead and rest. And EG, unfortunately, is dead. They don't really ever answer it, whether or not the Black Knife Assassins were the cause, though we do see some of them around here, or if he did it himself. Otherwise, though, we'll go ahead and get EG's bell bearing and his mirror helm. Now, before we head back to the Moonlight altar, we're going to go back to the round table hold and go grab some upgrades. Let's talk to Enya. So we now have the ability to get Bastard Stars, which is a flail with a unique ability called Nebula. Or we can get an Ash of War, Gravity Magic. Oh, I actually meant to not go that far back. There we go.
Well, I took you no matter. Lay out your own.
So we are now at +9 for our Somber-based weapon. If you've been following along, you should have enough to get this up to +9 at this point. So we're 1 level away from its max level, which is going to be require a Somber Ancient Dragon Smithing Stone, of which there are only a limited number, I think 13 in the main game. So, you know, at this point, you should be planning on a single weapon, because we're not going to be getting very many of them. They're also going to be pretty spread apart too. Otherwise, though, I'll go ahead and upgrade all my other weapons. And now we're going to head back to the Moonlight altar. Now, we are not going to do everything in this place. In fact, there is a boss inside an Everjail here. He is the, or she, sorry, is the Black Knife ringleader. Basically the final Black Knife assassin. And she's really hard. She's really an end game boss. And it takes a crap ton of hits to kill her. So I'm going to recommend we hold off for that. However, there are a few other things that we can do here first. So we're going to head for the Moonfolk Ruins first. And then we're going to basically go along this path and all the way down here. And this is another one of these towers. And this tower has the 3 beasts that are required that you find. One is basically right next to the tower. One of them is over here. And another one has to be jumped up to using a spirit spring over here. So we're going to be grabbing those, and then along the way we're also going to be tackling these locations as well. And before we do that, we are going to be facing off against some revenants, so I'm going to use this opportunity to go ahead and memorize the heal spell. And I'm also going to equip the 2 Fingers Heirloom, which is going to give me enough faith in order to utilize that against the Revenants, because I hate Revenants. So we're going to head for these ruins first. There are explosives here, so be careful. Then inside here, there is a path down. So we got ourselves another somber smithing stone. So what we're heading for now is going to be west. There are 3 dragons that are very close up together. You can do this now, you can do this later. But I'm going to go ahead and do it now. So as you can see, they can attack each other. Oh, that might be dead. Okay, I got lucky on that. So he fell off the cliff. He might have taken some damage falling down there, but I don't think he's dead. He'll teleport back up here eventually. And thankfully he'll keep the damage that he currently has too. Come on, dragon, get down. Ah, you stupid dragon. Stupid dragon. Get down, you asshat. Sometimes these dragons aren't so bad. Sometimes they're a real pain in the butt. He is stuck. All right, well, I guess we're gonna go down. And of course, sometimes this game can be a little glitchy. You stupid, stupid, stupid dragon. And I'm sure when I go back down there, he's going to teleport back up here. Dragon, you are wasting my viewers' time here. We're gonna go tackle you later, I think. So we actually aren't gonna go over there yet. We're gonna head off to the right first, because there's a red wolf of Radigan over there. Yep, not that way. Alright, so 3 wise beasts. So this is kind of strange because this time they're big, really big. So there's one right there. And I don't recommend that you fast travel for the others, because that will sometimes reset this. This particular... Not quite. There is the next one. The last one is actually floating. And it is all the way up here. Crystallians, by the way, are not worth your time. Really, neither is the wolf. Anyway, we'll activate the Ringleader's Everjail, but again, I'm not going to recommend facing off against it yet. And that is the final turtle. So you basically just have to hit it going up or down. There we go. So now we're going to travel back to the altar. Now you might remember we picked up a staff a while back that improves moon-related sorceries, and this is going to give us access to another one of those moon-related sorceries. Alright, so that's Ronnie's Dark Moon. The next thing we're going to do is go to the Red Wolf of Rad again. I'm not going to kill it. I'm just going to get the items around it because I think they're not worth your trouble to face. Personally, I think they're just too difficult for the minuscule number of runes you actually get in this game. Though they don't actually respawn, so that's a consideration as well if you want to kill it, because it is considered an elite enemy. Anyway, so we're going to this location, number 5 on our map. Again, kill it if you want, but you're not going to get hardly anything for it. Like I said, just not worth the effort. That, and we're sitting at nearly 45 minutes. I'm probably going to speed up at least part of this footage. Probably the dragon part. We got the Dragon Heart. Let's head back to Moonlight Altar, then we're going to head east from here. And we are going to need a Dragon Communion Seal. Okay. This one's good because we can pretty much use it at very, very low levels of faith, which is what we are right now. Okay, so once we get near this item, that's going to trigger it. Yes! One down, one to go. So this one has a stone sword key in front of it. So we got an upgrade to the Amber Medallion. This increases focus points. Cheese, but you turds ain't fair. Alright, that's going to be the last of the useful items in this place. So, we've gotten all three of the wise beasts out of the way. The only thing we really have left on this plateau to get is the Ringleader's Everjail, but that's going to be more of an endgame boss. But at this point, I think that's going to do it for this episode, everybody. In the next episode, we're going to be making some progress in Dragon Barrow, and then we're finally going to go to Lanedale. But until then, thank you everybody for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Later.